contingency to last much longer?
Until the situation comes to normal.
How would you describe the situation now?
Getting quiet. It was quiet yesterday, it's quiet today.
No fighting at the moment?
There hasn't been any fighting.
Except round the palace?
Around the palace there was no fighting.
What about the mortars and the rifles and the machine guns and so on?
Machine guns were in the palace. We have captured some. Guns were in the palace. We have captured some. We think others are still there, buried in the ground.
There have been reports of plans for resistance on the part of the Baganda and of leaflets being distributed. And this resistance, it said, may start on Monday, the original date of the ultimatum from the Kabaka to you. Do you have any knowledge of these reports?
We are prepared for anything. And my guess is that there won't be any resistance unless foreigners try to poke their noses into it. But we'll cut down their noses to shape.
Who do you think might intervene from outside?
I can't say anything. I don't want to mention any countries.
Have you any information about the casualties in the recent fighting around the palace?
I can't tell you that, but I'm informed that about 20 people lost their lives. About 20.
There have been suggestions that hundreds of people were killed.
I don't work on suggestions. I work on actual reports that come to be signed by appropriate officers.
And these are that about 20 people were killed in all, on both sides, on the side of the security forces?
Not a single security man was killed. Not a single.
What about outside the palace, in the countryside?
Another 20.
That's 40 altogether. So you discount reports that up to 1,000 people have been killed?
I am told the BBC said 1,000. Are you Mr. Hayes, Charles Hayes, by any way?
No, independent television. Dr. Obote said that only 40 people had been killed in the disturbances in Kampala and in the rest of Buganda. But nobody that I've talked to in Kampala believes this figure. In fact, the general impression is that the number of dead runs into several hundred, if not into several thousand. One reliable source gave me the figure of 1,700 dead. I talked to one African who lives just over the hill there, who said that he'd seen 3 lorry loads of bodies being driven away from his own village. And another African who reported seeing bodies being dumped in a mass grave near the prison at Port Bell on the shore of Lake Victoria.